Hot mic here. Get your hot mic. They're live.
What's up, everybody? It's been a little bit, but we're back here in the studio. Tucker Sherman and Tell Red Lynn. How's it going, Tell?
Oh, they're flowing,
Yeah, Keith Stone.
baby. Always smooth.
Y'all remember Keith Stone before he was unceremoniously just taken off TV like some of the other greats, the Settlers, Rob Lowe?
Yeah, dude. He was always smooth. He had him one up his sleeve always.
Well, Tell, what's been going on the last few weeks?
Oh, not much, buddy. We just been working. You know, we did have a nice weekend there last weekend, but the weather's getting primed.
It is. It's good Jeeping weather.
It is great Jeeping weather, and beers are going to be in trouble.
What is it about the old Corona cruise, those beautiful views out there in Greenwood County that just makes a person feel alive?
Yeah, that's definitely the only reason to be in Greenwood County. It's not for the people, I can tell you that. But there's some places that are pretty beautiful up there.
Yeah, it was a great day for sure. There was some old cops out hanging around there though. You had to be careful at the cruise.
Yeah, they were looking for people, you know. It's funny that 99% of that was in the county. Didn't have a single problem or even hardly see a sheriff. The 1% that we went through towns, they were on us like white on rice, man.
They got to get that money.
Listen, they got to pay for their new car somehow. One ticket at a time.
Oh yeah, man. I'd always driven through the cross timbers, been through that country a lot, but never actually been off in it down there around Climax and Fall River, and that was neat country.
It was cool. I'd never been to those spots where we were, and it's cool. It'd be fun to go back this summer when it's hot. You can get down in the river and stuff. It'd be fun.
Yeah, that's what Tell said. He stays out of Greenwood County. He's more of a northern Butler County, Chase County kind of guy. He doesn't go down there.
Yeah, that northern Butler, Chase County, that's my home, but I mean, I didn't hate it down there in Greenwood County. They might catch me there one more time, but I ain't gonna frequent the place. I can tell you that.
Not Eureka Lake.
No, they got some characters down there to Lake. I'll tell you that right now.
Hey, I didn't see any like Kansas Geological Survey reports or anything, but I heard that people being on the spillway, it completely changed the direction of the Mississippi River.
Yeah, I heard that down there they got this yellow-horned frog that is now turning towards the endangered species list because the river changed, man. We got to be careful with that stuff.
Who would have thought? It's like the butterfly effect, It's who would have thought that just jackassing around at Eureka Lake spillway could disrupt the hydrological, cycle of the United States so much.
Right, it's crazy. It's like that rock formation has not been constantly being changed for the last 150 years by water flowing over it or anything, but we completely changed it with a couple tires.
Yeah. Yeah. And, that's just something we heard. We haven't talked to a geologist about this. That would maybe be a good consultation.
I don't know. That guy seemed like an expert. I mean, he sure knew his stuff. I mean, he was shaking mad. That's for sure. He was committed to whatever was going on there.
Hey, it ain't great in Greenwood County.
It ain't great. Should have told him that, huh? It ain't great.
I mean, of all the places in the world for somebody to retire and like enjoy, I mean, it's a neat little lake, but it's like, yep, I'm going to put my roots right down here at Eureka City Lake.
Do you think, like, when he was, like, 25 and he got his job down there at the county, he was like, when I retire, I'm buying that house right up there at the top of the hill there at the lake down there, huh? That's my goal. And let me tell you, he reached it. He got there.
Well, you know what? It's really nice to see some people achieve their dreams. And
Right. Hey, listen, everybody can achieve dreams if you set the goal low enough.
Yes, sir. Well, speaking of dreams, we actually talked to a couple from Ark City on our cruise, and we talked to them a little bit about the issue they're having down there at Ark City, and they said it really is a issue.
Yeah, matter of fact, they said just a few blocks down the road there from them where they live, and they said it's a for real deal.
Yeah. But the good news is, sounds like they're doing something about it.
Yeah, they seem to be trying to get it fixed, corrected a little bit.
Cali County Commission approves ordinance outlawing public nudity. Tell, would you look at that? They listen to us here at the podcast, and they're doing something about it.
Hey, listen, we might only had 40 people listen last week, but I think 28 of them were from Cali County, they're changing things down there.
They got a message, and we're just kind of the platform.
That's right. We're gonna let them know, hey, we're here for you guys. You know, I'm not a huge Arc City fan either, but you know what? I'll stick up for them.
This is from KWCH 12. Arkansas City, Kansas. A man who caused concerns in a neighborhood near Arkansas City by taking walks outside naked will have to cover up or risk a fine and possible jail time following the complaints from neighbors south of town. The Cali County Commission approved a new public nudity ordinance on Tuesday. Tell, thoughts?
I love it, man. I'm glad that we're finally getting somewhere with this deal. You know, maybe it's going to slow him down. I don't know if $500 is quite enough for me. I mean, you could scar somebody for life. Apparently, he could scar somebody for life with that thing. But
30 days in jail.
yeah, he seems like a guy that likes jail.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think what really screwed this guy was that his sleeper agents and the Chinese government that got caught with the pot down there in Oklahoma, he didn't have them to protect him anymore. So
Right. You know, his backing kind of went to jail for a whole nother deal.
that's kind of how it happens, you know, kind of like the spillway at Eureka Lake, ripple effect.
Right. You never know what a simple stone kick will cause.
Somebody gets arrested for a DUI in Mississippi, and bam, El Chapo's in prison again.
Right. Not that he'll be there very long, but kind of the master of escape somehow, huh?
Yeah, it was just such a crazy thing because we heard, you know, there's some backstory to this guy and the fact that he was still allowed to just walk around naked.
Yeah, apparently didn't they say just a few miles south in Oklahoma somewhere he got in trouble doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So he come across state lines, found a place that at the time didn't have any laws against it, but quickly changed.
Which just validates our theory that he was in bed with the Chinese pot smugglers as well.
Right, obviously they knew where to send him. They knew where they wanted him. They had the laws scouted out.
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, Arc City, we were thinking about you, and we're just glad that this is working out. I'm sure he'll still be on the news. I bet he's going to be throwing a fit. He's not going to really be trying to follow the law, I have a feeling.
No, I'm sure he's going to say some kind of, you know, this is only made against him kind of deal, but it needed to be made anyway. But yeah, I'm sure he either fight it or he'll just disappear.
Yeah. Well, you know, what can you do?
Hey, it ain't great, man.
It ain't great. It ain't great out there, but it's getting a little better, maybe.
Yeah, I like to see the positivity, man.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's not positive is them gaslighting us on this rain 3 weeks in a row.
Dude, I am so over it. I cannot believe how wrong they have been every single time on this rain deal. Hell, I even had a little rain on me today. 0% chance. Wasn't much, but a few drops. Just enough for the old good Lord to say they don't know what they're doing. You know?
I mean, what goes through their heads? What are their models? I mean, I get that they're looking at something, but like 2 weeks in a row, they were like, oh, we're going to get 2.5 inches of rain. And what did we get, like an eighth last week?
Yeah, dude, it's unbelievable. They were saying, like, I looked, like, so it was supposed to rain Wednesday, Tuesday night into Wednesday. When I looked last Friday, just like, so 5 days ahead, they were calling for 3 inches of rain between Tuesday and Wednesday. I got a half an inch. That's 5 days out, and they're off by 2.5 inches about the amount of rain we're going to get. That's crazy. Like, man, it's a good thing that there's no industries out there in this part of the world that, you know, need rain or bet their whole farms on how much rain we're going to get every year, because if they did, they could be in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was looking like there for a minute we were heading back to the old dirty 30s. Yeah,
I looked it up. So I got a buddy. He's kind of fascinated with it's not, I don't want to say doomsday because that's not the right answer. But he's always looking at stuff to see, like, when the next big snowstorm's going to come. Like, what year we're going to have a big snow year, what year's a big drought year. He's always finding things. And he saw a thing that said that they did a bunch of research on trees, and they're calling it an 89-year cycle, which would put us right on pace for 36 is where we should be, which was the first year of the Dust Bowl. And so he's been sweating it. He's thinking, man, but I looked it up just out of curiosity because I don't know. Tree thing, I don't know if I believe. Like, I'm all on that deal yet. But the year 36, the state average total was like 3.5 inches of rain for the whole year from January to December. That's all they got. We're right now at my house, because I got that digital deal, we're sitting right at like 3.9, almost 4 inches. Now, granted, we should get a majority of our rain right now. We should have already, but we're ahead of that. So I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think we'll get some more rain.
How do they base it off of the trees? I mean, I know that they can like tell a tree's age if they chop it.
So when you cut a tree down, it has rings, right? Mm-hmm. But in between those rings is measurable distance of the growth that year. Mm. So some trees, obviously, you'd have to look at that ring like under a microscope or, to actually get an accurate measurement, right? Your eyeball, you're not going to be able to put a tape on it. It may only be a 32nd or a 64th that it grew that year or whatever. But that's how they tell, is how much it grew is supposed to be how much rainfall. Mm. So if it didn't grow very much, it didn't grow at all, didn't get any rain that year. Like it didn't get any more circumference on it, then there was a drought year. Mm-hmm. We've got a lot of, the thing that's a 1/2 inch gap between two rings, then must have rained a lot that year.
Yeah, it'd be fascinating to see a redwood tree chopped down. Look at that.
Yeah, some of those old ones, and that kind of, that's part of the reason why I'm like, how many trees in this part of the world that we have make it to be 90 years old? Like, I get, like, in the past when we didn't cut them, but, like, still, cottonwoods would be about the only thing I know, because no elm tree is going to make it to be 90. Yeah. Cedars, hedge, locust, kind of our standards. None of that makes it would be 90 years old around here. So how do you know? You know what I mean? Like, you have to have, I would think, for your accurate math on an 89-year cycle, you'd have to have a 120-year tree to have a large enough window, right? Because if the tree's only 90 years old and the first and the last is short, well, how do you know that the tree wasn't dying? You know what I mean? Like, that's where I'm at with it, I guess, is how do you know which was the tree's fault for not growing and which was the drought's reason for not growing? I get where they're coming from, but I don't know. I just don't fully believe it, I guess. I'm not sold on it, but
it's a bunch of hoopla.
Right.
I don't think it's hoopla, but yeah,
there's
I get what you're saying.
There's some math to it. I get it, but it's not, I don't know. I wouldn't call it scientific. It's a theory or a hypothesis, but I wouldn't say it's something that's proven by any means.
You and me don't have the power to correctly interpret geology, but we have the ability to affect it.
Yeah, we can affect it. Obviously, we affected it massively this weekend. Now, one time I skipped a rock. Who knows what caused to happen?
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, I don't even want to think about it. I really don't.
My kids are gonna be affected. My grandkids are gonna be affected by what I did last weekend.
The only person that could probably tell you what you just did was E. David Scott.
E. David Scott. I think that guy that was informing us of what we were doing must be a cousin to E. David Scott.
I agree.
He had some serious insight. It wasn't with animals. It was with Mother Earth.
Yeah.
The dirt herself.
It may have been E. David Scott. If I would see that guy go anywhere, the most irrelevant place on earth, if you wanted to get away, wouldn't you go to Eureka Lake?
What if he was just like, dude, they were coming for him? Like the government, like everybody's like, we got to get this fraud. So he just like threw a dart at a map and it just hit Eureka Lake. And that's where he lives. That was E. David Scott.
My uncle one time was talking about Eureka. He's like, who in the hell came out here, in the 1870s and looked at this and just went, Eureka.
So when I was a kid, we were down there at Oswego and we were down there fishing. And I don't know if you've been down there to the river right there at Oswego.
Yeah.
It's a big drop off right there. Like the river's cut. I bet it's, 50, 75 feet drop from the city park's up there. up at the top of the hill, swimming pool, all that stuff, and then it drops down to the river. And we were up there doing something one time, and I had an uncle at the time. I don't know, I had to be 8 or 10 years old. And he says, "You know how they came up with the name Oswego for this town, don't you?" I said, "No, I don't know." He said, "Yeah, when the cowboys come through this town, they were chasing the Indians, and the last one before they shot him, he went off this cliff right here. And the last thing he said before he went off the cliff was, Oswego!" So they named the town after him.
Yeah, man. Kansas, Oklahoma, Nebraska. We got some wild names.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, we're in the worst. El Dorado.
Yeah, El Dorado.
I've heard it pronounced El Dorado as well. Interpret it as you will.
Yeah.
City of Gold, it is not.
It is the opposite. This is like an Iceland, Greenland situation right here, dude. Yeah. They named it the City of Gold to fool some people because there ain't shit here.
Fool's gold.
That's right. Unless meth is gold.
Yeah.
Then we got it. We got it in abundance.
Yeah, man. No, I mean, we're ribbing Arch City and Eureka and Oswego, but right. Hey, we're in the same boat.
It ain't great.
Yeah.
Listen, I got a story for you from the other day about some fine El Dorado citizens for sure.
Well, tell us.
So we went to go to old Cuzzo's baseball game, and I had to take your sister because she blew her ankle up. So I go to pick her up, and of course she doesn't have cash to get in the game. So there's a gas station just right next door to the old ballpark. So I was like, "Oh, hell, we'll just swing in there. I'll get some cash, and we'll go." So I go in, and I was like, "Hey, you guys do cash back?" Because I was going to buy some sunflower seeds or something. And of course, I don't do cash back. So I got to go in the back, use the ATM that cost me $3 to get 20 out, So go in there, get my cash. I'm coming out. As I'm walking up to the old Yoda, this old boy in a single cab, like mid-2000s Dodge, one of them 4th-gen Dodges, says, "Hey, buddy, you mind giving me a jump?" I said, "Yeah, sure." He says, "I got the jumper cables right here." And of course, he pulled like up to the door, right up to the barricade, So I'm only like 2 parking spots away from him. Nobody's in them. So I just back up a little bit, pull up sideways there, I'm not going to be here 30 seconds, right? He says, "I got the jumper cables." And I look, and he's not kidding. He's got the jumper cables. They're hardwired into his battery, and the tail's just wrapped around the bumper, and he's just got 2 cables there. Apparently, we jump this thing quite frequently, right? I'd quit turning it off. So anyway, I pull up there, I pop the hood, and he lifts the hood up, and he starts hooking the batteries as I'm walking around there, hooks them up. And just about the time I get over there, he turns, and there's 2 meth heads sitting in the single cab truck. One sitting in the center, one sitting in the passenger seat. And they are, for sure, no doubt,
Gacked up.
He says, "Hey, Sally, turn that screwdriver." And I look, and there is not a single piece of plastic on the dash of this fucking truck.
Oh,
not
no.
underneath the steering wheel, not on the dash, not nothing, And I'm just like, "Oh, fuck, here we go." Sure enough, first crank, wow, she fires up. He unhooks it. I shut the hood. I get in, and I look at your sister, and I said, "I 100% just helped that dude jump a stolen fucking truck."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I go to back out, of course, right? And I'm not saying I didn't pull up there like an asshole, but I knew it was just for a second. 2 people are trying to pull in the parking spots that I'm sideways into. And I get out, and I'm like, "Hey, cool if I back out of here and get out of your way?" And they both just stare at me like odd for like 30 seconds. "Yeah, I guess." And then pull out of the way. I was like, and now I'm kind of getting annoyed, right? And I'm like, of course, your sister doesn't have cash, and now I'm into this shithole. Here we are.
Dude, that is a hub for undesirable people.
Oh, it is. But damn it, come on, man. My 10 seconds at the gas station turned into 10 minutes of just pure shittery.
Yeah, man. Oh, wow. I'm sorry you had to go through that, man.
It's just another day in this town,
and it's Gen Z, and they never have cash. Like, they don't even know what a $20 bill looks like.
I know, dude. This is a while back, getting way down the hole here, but we went up. We were in Emporia, and we need to get a few things at the grocery store. And I normally carry some cash. I don't carry a lot of cash, but I carry some cash. Maybe small bill, maybe $100 is what I like. Where I like to be, you know. And just wanted some beer and a couple deals, and because they sell it cheap up there in Emporia. Go to the grocery store in there, nice little place, and get up there, and there's like 3 people at every cash register, like standing there. Like, damn. Anyway, I'm sitting there holding my beer, and all of a sudden, like, the guy at the front kind of panics a little bit. He's like, my card was declined. It's not working. Then the next cash register over. Same thing. Next cash register over. Same thing. Card machine goes down. They reset the whole system. Like, this is like a 15-minute ordeal total. Reset the whole system. Still nobody's card's working. They're like, it's like 4 o'clock. They're like, oh, we're going to have to call somebody. I said, can you take cash? Like, I was like from the back, I was like, can you still take cash? And they're like, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I guess. It's just the card machines that are down. And they're like, anybody got cash? And literally me, there's probably 25 people standing there. Me and like a 60-year-old man were like, yeah. Walked up there. There's people with like $5 worth of stuff. Like, you know what I mean? They got some bag of M&Ms and a water bottle. And they don't have $5 in cash. And me being me, you know, I get up there, set my stuff up, check out. And right as I'm walking out, they give me my change. And I said, cash is still king. Yeah. And that guy goes, ain't no shit. Yeah. And me and him get to walk out while everybody, I have no idea. Could have taken an hour. I have no idea. Everybody else is panicking. But, you know, I just shit like that.
Yeah, I almost feel disgusting when I go somewhere and I don't have any cash. You know, it's like I got to have at least a 20, a 40. I got to have a little bit of cash. And there's people, I mean, even older than us, you know. I mean, like you'll go some places and they're like, oh, I don't have any cash. I'm like, you don't have a $5 bill on you?
Right. I don't always have the change. It might be in a 20 or whatever, but I got cash. Like, I try to carry some cash. It's not hard.
And they're really trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, they are. Oh, speaking of cash, you see all those dimes they spilt down there in Texas or whatever?
I did not see this, Tell.
It was an entire semi of freshly minted dimes.
I did see that. It was like some hundreds of thousands of dollars in dimes.
Yeah, it was like 10 million dimes or whatever, $100,000 in dimes. Yeah. And there's like all these people, like obviously like employees, workers, like city workers, like digging in the grass trying to find. I was like, man, can you imagine what the homeless looks like there the next week? And they see this story, they're going to be down there digging for dimes.
They're going to be moving on up.
Second gold rush. And they're with their scissors.
Yeah, and there's going to be that odd guy with the metal detector out there just like running around. They're going to be razzing him.
He's going to get shanked. What's going to happen to him?
Yeah, if you are a metal detector, you stay away from the homeless dime camp.
Yeah, dude, you don't want no part of their smoke. They'll ship a guy for 40 cents, man.
Yeah. Oh, damn, man. Yeah, I did see that story.
Oh, that was crazy. Like the worst coin, too, right? Like it is the smallest one, and it's obviously worth 10 cents. Worth more than a penny, but it is the smallest one. So
yeah,
couldn't have been any worse.
Yeah. Can you imagine if it was a truck of like $2 bills?
Oh,
I'd be running down there to get me a handful of them.
Dude, I'd shift somebody over a $2 bill, man. They don't make them anymore. They're gone.
Yeah, they're completely out of circulation with the Treasury.
They're not out of circulation. They're still valued or whatever, but they're not made no more. Haven't been for a long time.
Yeah.
They were considered unlucky.
Well, this is where I wish I had a Jamie like Joe Rogan's. Like, Jamie, pull this up. I want to look at this.
Yeah, I know. I don't know the exact story behind it, but yeah, I know they don't make them anymore. But Eve got her first one.
That's what you said. Our great uncle, he's always got a handful of them.
He keeps them for the grandkids and the great grandkids. And yeah, when we went to church the first time, he saw her and boy, he was excited to give her a $2 bill. So it's actually in my gun safe. But
that's awesome. Yeah. I mean, like, I've always heard that you could go to a bank and they might still care. Like, they might have some. So you could, like, give them a 20 and be like, can I have 10 $2 bills? And some banks will do it, but it's very difficult to find them.
Yeah. Yeah, because then once they quit making them, there's a lot of people that started just rat holing them. Like, as far as I know, you can still use them, and there might be some banks that have them, but like for the most part, there's people that start rat holing them because they will be like they're gonna become a collector's item. It's just a matter of time, right? Because anytime they quit making something, it becomes worth more than it was.
I always thought they were really cool because I've always liked Thomas Jefferson, so I always thought it was really cool. But yeah, I need to look up the history on that, why they felt a need to print them in the first place, and then why they were like, we don't, because it makes sense to have a $2 bill,
Right.
But I guess they're unlucky. I don't know.
That's just the article I saw. Like, I don't know. It could have been just a meme like thing that I saw. But yeah, there was like 4 or 5 instances where people got a bunch of $2 bills. Like, say a store, like back in the day, went in and got their $100 worth of $2 bills or whatever, And like one person, safe from the bank was dropped on them. Like they were trying to put a safe in a 2nd-story window and the rope broke when they walked out the door. Another one, somebody got hit by a car when they stepped out. Like large quantities of $2 bills was bad luck or something.
Yeah, my favorite story with bills when I was a young lad, it actually comes from Tell's grandpa. I couldn't have been about 5, 6 years old, and we were somewhere, and they were all talking about how good I was with naming the presidents on the bills,
Mm-hmm.
And Tell's grandpa had, all of them in his billfold. And he's like, all right, well, who's on this one? I'm like, oh, that's George Washington. He goes, well, who's on that one? Andrew Jackson. I kept going up. And I was like, yeah, I think my favorite bill is the $100 bill because it's got Ben Franklin on it. And your grandpa went, yep, I'm a big fan of them hundreds too.
Yeah, he still is to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about like him. He's a fan of them hundreds.
But not the $2. His brother's a fan of the $2 bill.
Right, that shows you the difference, huh?
Yeah.
One's a big fan of the 2 and one's a big fan of the 100.
Oh man, yeah. We went down a rabbit hole there, but that was a good discussion.
Yeah, we kind of jumped off in her, but that wasn't bad.
Kansas, as we said in the first time, this place just keeps getting weirder and weirder. And I got a hell of a story for you here. I'm about to pull up.
I'm pretty excited about it, buddy. Yeah, we've got some shit going on in this place.
How low would you go? What would you consider stealing if you owed somebody $20,000?
Boy, if I owed somebody, like somebody'd break my knuckles kind of deal, nothing stealing at that point. I'm just trying to stay alive.
Well, would you steal a historic 800-pound cannon from the Spanish-American War?
No, I don't think I would steal that. I mean, that looks like the guy. Like, dude, if you're like, hey, draw me a picture of somebody that would steal a cannon from the Spanish-American War, that's what I draw you right there. That's 100% what I draw you.
It gets even better.
Who is he going to sell it to? Back to the museum?
This is from Cake News. I can't even read it without laughing. Newly released court documents say a Wichita man who stole an 800-pound historic cannon from a local park did so for drug money. An affidavit states that 37-year-old, who we will not name, told Wichita police officers he believed his life was in danger after a drug dealer advised him that he owed him money, and this led him to steal the cannon for money.
Dude, I need the rest. Like, I want to know I need the interview with this guy.
This is the best one. Nameless man says he saw a homeless man at a nearby pavilion and offered the man meth and a pipe in exchange for helping him chain the cannon. The homeless man agreed to help him, he said, after the two smoked meth together at the park.
That's the most Wichita shit I've ever seen in my whole life, dude. They're getting high. He's like, hey, man, you want to steal that cannon over there?
Yeah, you see them, they're just like smoking it in, and they're just like, all right, let's get this boom.
I'm primed, buddy. Let's get her. Oh, frick.
Due to its weight, and the man who helped him were unable to load the cannon into his Tahoe. He told police he drugged the cannon with the Chevrolet Tahoe, but while doing so, the chain snapped several times.
So he just kept going back and rechaining it? Oh, fuck.
While on 18th Street, he alleges the chain snapped in front of an automotive shop, and he threw the last length of the chain into the Tahoe, left the cannon, and drove to a friend's house nearby. After arriving at his friend's house, the friend provided him with a new chain but did not agree to help him move the cannon. He says that when he returned to where he left the cannon and used the new chain to drag the cannon to his friend's house, he stored it in the garage.
What the fuck is going on here, dude?
The man told police he spent the next several hours using a sawzall to cut the cannon into 4 or 5 pieces, which he placed into his Tahoe. He said he left the largest piece of the cannon in his friend's garage. First of all, that is cast iron from the 1890s. How did he use a sawzall to cut through it?
Dude, them are some good blades. Somebody figure out what blades he had on that fucking sawzall, because those are what I'm buying. That should be an advertisement for whatever that was. If that was DeWalt saw blades. Hey, you want a blade that cuts cast iron? Yeah. We got it. Here's proof. This meth head had no quit in him.
After getting the pieces into his car, he told police he took them to his drug dealer to show him that he was trying to pay for what he lost. The affidavit states that his drug dealer called him stupid, telling him he is going to bring heat to his house and get out.
Well, that drug dealer is not wrong, dude.
Dude, he would probably just like take the cannon that he gave him and blow his house up with it.
Dude, that's what I don't know why you cut the cannon up, dude. I'd found a way to mount that on the top of the old fuck Tahoe.
Yeah.
I have a fucking cannon mounted Tahoe.
Yeah, maybe if it was in like normal, like its original intended purpose, he brought it to him, the guy'd be like, well, respect.
Right. I got something here. You got something. That's a little home defense there, buddy.
What do you do if you're the like the junkyard, scrapyard guy, and some guy rolls up with this, and they're like, "Hey, man, will you give me for this?"
Yeah, that is insane. You're like, what is this? Well, you know that cannon they used to have in the park? This is it.
Yeah, the guy just comes out and he's just like spitting tobacco, and he's just like, "Well, I don't. Scrap prices ain't very much.
I don't think scrap on cast iron's not much there, bud." What did he think it was made out of? Fucking gold?
I don't know, dude. It said that the city of Wichita Parks and Recreation told police the value of the cannon is over $100,000, and the damage estimate to the granite pedestal is approximately $10,000.
That's insane. $100,000 fucking cannon. I mean, you got fucked up there by cutting it up.
Yeah, but I mean, like the thing is it's worth $100,000 if it was like sold at an auction and in a historical museum or something. This guy thought that it would just be worth that on the black market, that people would pay $100,000 for it.
I think he thought he had $20,000 worth of fucking scrap.
Yeah.
I think that's what he thought he had there. He's like, I cut this bitch up. That's 20 grand easy.
He was probably the guy that you helped jumpstart.
That might have been him, to be honest with you. Kind of looked like him.
Did you notice anything like, 19th century about him?
I didn't really notice any canon-esque thing about him, but I mean, it could have been. I mean, he wasn't in Tahoe, so maybe not, but could have been.
Yeah, this guy, I wish that I knew how to edit better, because I'd pull his picture back up and then I would put like the Rizzler, the Costco family. We bring the boom up.
Yeah. Oh, he brought the boom for sure. That's a 4-boomer. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, dude, I can't. This is just I mean, how stupid do you have to be?
High was the word you're looking for. How high do you have to? Because he was it. That's how high you got to be. That's the amount of meth he smoked that thought, I'm going to steal this cannon.